in and around Ocala.
Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well.
Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Wednesday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks. It's hump day. Galen Unoff from Life South joins us. He does every day. Thanks to the good folks at Penn Flooring, Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, and JustShip.net. Galen, good morning to you. So, you on the road in the fog or what?
No, you didn't have the button pushed. I can't hear a word you're saying. All I heard was feedback.
Oh, well,
Good
I
morning,
like feedback.
Tom. How are you?
I'm a little lathered up this morning. My intern Natalie's got me a little lathered up this morning. But I was lathered up before I came in the building. I'm going to make some people angry again today, probably, which is, my everyday MO. But I'm tired. I'm tired of the news media and the spin that they try to put on things in this world to make certain people look bad and make other people look good, and it's done by everybody in the news media. But right now, my main aggravant is I've been inundated with the Buffalo mass shooting in Buffalo where 13 people were shot, 10 died, and I've been inundated with how it's a hate crime with a white nationalist and the great replacement theory and how they're just it's a horrible situation. And by the way, it is a horrible situation. But yet, an afterthought in the news media is a Chinese nationalist went into a Taiwanese church, killed a doctor and other people because he was shooting at Taiwanese people because he believes it should be part of China, and he hates people that think Taiwan should be a free country and everything. That doesn't get the news media because it doesn't fit the narrative, and both are a hate crime, both are heinous, and both should get the same coverage. But that's not how it works in America anymore, Galen.
No, well, you can't blame, the guy at the Taiwanese church on, Fox News and Tucker Carlson. And what they've been trying to do this isn't new, right? I mean, remember what they did to Bill O'Reilly after 9/11. I mean, whenever you have a guy who's obviously he's talking to a large portion of America because it's the highest rated cable news show.
But that's what the left will tell you is that means that there's a bunch of white nationalists or white supremacists that are finally coming out to the forefront and showing you that it's a lot stronger than anybody thinks it is.
Or it could just be he's speaking to what people A want to hear or B believe. I haven't watched Tucker in a long time.
I can honestly say I've never watched him.
So whatever people feel, man. I don't believe anybody can be radicalized by Fox News. I just the same way I don't believe people can be radicalized by CNN because they're watching those channels to reinforce their own personal beliefs. Now, what you may start to feel more stronger about your beliefs. Now, this guy, how deep he went into 4chan, he was already isolated.
Oh, yeah.
Already had some issues. And he read the Dylan manifesto, and that probably had a bigger impact on him than anything else. So, again, he mentioned a lot of people.
Well, you said
in that manifesto.
You said something that is exactly the point I'm making. Is right now the news media that is not Fox is killing Tucker Carlson and his show, saying he's supporting and promoting white nationalism and white supremacy, and the people that watch those shows think that they're spot on, 100% accurate. The people that watch Tucker Carlson think, how dare you? He's just reporting the news, and that's the problem, is we don't have news anymore that tells us the story. We have news that tells us the opinion we want to hear so that we feel better about ourselves on both sides of the aisle. And that is a horrible, horrible position for me to think that the news media has devolved into, we're just going to report to the people that we know like what we're saying, we're going to report more and more just what they like to hear.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've become. Whether we want to be there or not, there is no, and not that I've ever found, a news gathering source that presents news in a non-leaning way. Now, you may get an individual story that's not, and that's, to be honest with you, that's why I don't watch any cable news whatsoever. I just try to read, and I try to, if I'm going to read one subject, about one subject, I try to get 2 or 3 different sources. And so in a large sense, you have to become your own journalist. You have to go in and look at the information. I'll give you a perfect example. The Reedy Creek, right? You talked about it yesterday. So I went and I read as much of it as I possibly could. Nobody really knows what's going to happen with it.
No.
Right? And so everybody's kind of guessing. And I think it's a subject that is worth exploring. But nobody really knows because we've never done it before. Nobody knows how this bond is going to work. I read an article that, he can pull right out of these because the state of Florida is not on the bond anywhere, and no matter what, the bond will still be owned by Disney. And I read another one that the bond is tied to the property itself, and that whoever's owning / managing that property,
they're responsible. Exactly.
For the tax. So I really don't know the truth, and but a good journalist somebody should be able to tell us. But that doesn't sell papers. Right? That doesn't get clicks. It's not sexy.
And that's my point.
That's the issue.
News is no longer about the substance involved. It's about how many clicks I can get, how much money I can make my advertisers, how much money I can make from selling advertising. And it's always been, don't get me wrong, money has always been a part of it, but it is now all about clicks. And I don't care if you read the story or not. Click on it. If the first sentence turns you off, at least the headline got you to click. That registers on my counter. I can use that in my, when I go to sell, I can say, look, we had over 4 million clicks on this story right here. And I can do that whether you read it or not, whether it was something you like. And it's no longer about the story anymore. It's just about how can I put my product out there enough where advertisers love me.
Well, and again, when I worked in the TV news business, that's what it was about. It was about getting eyeballs. It was just easier to get the eyeballs because there was no other source of news. This is again, this is not a new issue. It's become more prevalent because there are so few sources. Or I'm sorry, there's so many sources we can go and it's obviously that you can see the different slants.
So I know. So what you're saying then? Oh, I just had an epiphany. What you're saying then is everything we're dealing with in the media in 2022 can be laid at the foot of Ted Turner.
No, I think
he started the 24-hour cable. No. He started 24-hour cable news.
No.
It's Ted Turner's fault.
No.
Just like the Braves sucking in the 80s. It's Ted Turner's fault. That's easy for me to wrap my head around, hating Ted Turner.
You could blame the Spanish-American War on yellow journalism.
They did kind of rile up the troops and the population.
How did the Lusitania really get blown up?
Well,
this isn't a new.
I think for the
issue.
Spanish-American War, you meant the Maine, but okay.
The Maine. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
I think you meant the Maine, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. Lusitania was also.
I know I'm right. I was just trying to help you.
No, you're right. You're right. I appreciate that, Tom. That's one in a row. But again,
I had one yesterday too, so that's 2 days in a row.
Oh, don't let it get to your head.
Oh, well,
but I think it's because we've become so segmented, and you have so many of these outlets that are just trying to grab onto that segment, and they will hammer home whatever it is that keeps that segment upset and motivated and having to watch. That's just what it's come down to.
So what you're saying is
everything
nowadays is a glorified Inside Edition.
That's correct. And I mean, I think that's been exposed time and time again, whether it's Project Veritas or, some of the things that Tucker Carlson has said and got caught on where, he does things just to get ratings. Okay. All right. I mean, it's up to the person watching. And again, I'm an absolutist in free speech. It's up to the person watching the TV or reading the article, right, or listening to the podcast to discern what their truth is, what the truth is, and not just their truth. And that's what we have to we have to have a more educated populace.
Well,
who reads more and watches more than just their own little channel.
Thomas Jefferson, way back in the 1790s, was worried about the intelligence of the general populace.
Sure he was, and that's why he created a republic and not a true democracy.
Right.
Isn't it?
That is exactly why it's a republic, not a true democracy. Yes.
He also wanted you to prove that you were smart enough to vote.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's by
he
the
did.
way,
He wanted you
that's
to
why
take an aptitude test before you got the right to vote.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And that's where we got the literacy test. And I think as a society we realized that's pretty bad.
That's
because
pretty
they're
terrible.
Impossible to pass.
Exactly. We got to take a break.
My mom had a master's degree and couldn't pass it.
Well, there
in
you
North
go.
Carolina.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back. More with Galen, after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chats. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you.
Bumpin' Brave and Bold, the Orlando International Fringe Theater Festival is back May 17th through the 30th with over 200 shows. This unique cultural experience is held at Lock Haven Park. 2022 brings new and exciting features to the Orlando Fringe. You don't want to miss out. Tickets are available at orlandofringe.org. Again, May 17th through the 30th is the 31st Orlando Fringe, and it's sure to be the best yet. Get your tickets at orlandofringe.org.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday. Galen from Life South joins us as he does every day. Thanks to the good folks at Penn Flooring, JustShip.net, and Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center. Galen, let's switch gears and talk about something that won't aggravate me as much, and that is the NBA now is something that is, you got to turn an eye to it. We're in the conference finals now, And when did Jimmy Butler and the Orlando Magic get so good? I mean, that's how much I pay attention to basketball.
You mean the Miami Heat?
Miami Heat, whatever.
Miami Heat.
Miami Heat, whatever.
And by the way, the Orlando Magic got the #1 overall pick.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah. 14 teams didn't make the playoffs. The Magic got the #1 pick. But, yeah, Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra, is he going to prove that he's actually a better basketball coach than people think? Because, he's always been hit with the tag well, if I had the teams you had when you won championships, you could win too.
No. I think he proved his salt many times. I think he's a great coach. What he did with that Heat team in the bubble last year was remarkable. I think the organization is, again, we talk about it all the time, leadership and organization. He gets his guys to play fundamental basketball. They pass the ball, they play help defense, and they rebound. And in the NBA, if you can do that, you can win basketball games. By all accounts, the Celtics have a better matchup than the Heat. Jason Tatum and I think it's Smart. They're a tough matchup for the Heat. The Heat just come at you in waves, and they're going to find somebody who's hot. And when they do, they're disciplined enough to get that guy the ball. And then they have Jimmy Butler, who just wears the team like a backpack and carried it around last night in the second half. It was I got to watch a very small part of it, of the game, because I was at a stupid reception all night. But it was fun. The parts I saw were fun. I enjoy this. I enjoy watching the Heat. I really, really do.
I hadn't watched.
Butler drops 41.
Yeah, I hadn't watched the NBA. I hadn't watched the NBA since before they went to the Milk House. And when the bubble shut down and everything.
Sure.
So that's the last time. So
Sure.
last time I had heard, the Golden State Warriors were on their way out. Their window had closed. Not so fast, my friends. According to quote Lee Corso.
Mm-hmm. Again, the NBA and the bubble kind of changed everything, and the fact that LeBron's not in it allows me to watch it. I got into the NBA because a lot of the players that I coach are just always talking about it. I'm like, all right, let me check this guy out. And it is the regular season I think is unwatchable, but there's some guys that I just really enjoy watching, and there's so many different styles of play. Luka with the Mavs is just an absolute joy to watch. He plays old man basketball. The kid's 6'7", right? But he's slow. He's a white guy.
He's a plotter.
Jump very
He's
high.
a plotter. Plodder. Plotter.
He gets into the paint and makes these old man fadeaway shots that if you've ever played recreation basketball and you see this guy roll up, and he's got the headband and he's about 30 pounds overweight, and at the end of the game he scores 8 of your team's 11 points, and you could not say how he scored those 8 points, that's Luka.
No, that's Bill Laimbeer. You just described Bill Laimbeer.
No, Bill Laimbeer would start a fight.
Well, yeah.
Luka just smiles and he hits the open jump shot. He makes he's not flashy. He's a guy that if you watch this film, you're like, so what? Who's this guy?
And then he drops 38 on you. You look at his totals. He got 38.
I love it. I love it. Jimmy Butler is kind of the same thing. Jimmy Butler likes to get down and just get dirty and messy and guard you and be tough and score those really underneath in the paint buckets for a guard. I love the way he plays.
Now let me ask you this question.
We got the Mavs and the Warriors tonight.
Let me ask you this question. Except for the Warriors, who became household names when they went on their run and everything,
Sure.
except for the Warriors, the basketball fan like you know a lot of the stars in the NBA. But right now, the NBA can't be happy with all these matchups because the marquee, the names, the big names to the lay person who doesn't tune in except during the finals and the NBA finals and the NBA conference finals. This is, to a lot of people, we were talking about this last night at a sports bar. It's just boring because there's no. One guy said, There's no big stars in this anymore. And I go, hold on, Luka Doncic is a big star. Jimmy Butler's a big star. He goes, who? Never heard of him. And I'm like, that. And he was like, but he only watches basketball during the conference finals and the NBA finals. Everybody knows who Steph Curry is. Everybody knows who Klay Thompson is. Everybody knows who Draymond Green is. Nobody knows almost anybody else in these playoffs.
Well, and again, it's this is what happens when you make it to the finals. People start to know your name. You know, you look at a guy like Tyler Hero that came out of nowhere.
Never heard of him.
And became a superstar, and now he's the sixth man of the year award for the Miami Heat.
Never heard of him.
Comes off the bench and scores 18 points. And again, you get the finals are where stars are made, right? Nobody had heard of Steph Curry, even out of college, until he started blowing up in the finals.
What do you mean? I knew who Steph Curry was out of Davidson. I watched him. He went to the Sweet 16. Calm down. Of course, I was in graduate school in North Carolina at the time, and you know he was No, I was not in graduate school. I just left graduate school. But he was all world as a freshman and all at Davidson and a sophomore at Davidson. But you had to live in North Carolina and know who the hell he was.
Well, and again, I think it's I think everybody will know these guys at the end of this round and the next round, because if the Celtics make it, you know, then Jason Tatum's going to become the next great Celtic player, and you know he'll be in that hallowed ground of the Larry Birds and all of those greats.
Doesn't a part of you want the Celtics to win just so that Tatum?
No, I'm a Heat fan.
Yeah, but here's my point. Here's my point. Well, the average fan that just wants to see that doesn't
NBA
like the
wants the Celtics to win.
No, I'm talking about the average fan that doesn't like the Los Angeles Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you want to see Tatum win just because wasn't he one time part of the Lakers and now he's gone to the Heat?
No.
I thought he was on the Lakers.
No,
see?
he was drafted by the.
That's how much I know about the NBA. I thought Jason Tatum was originally with the Lakers. See?
No, ideally, in an ideal world, the NBA wants Golden State against the Celtics, right? East Coast, West Coast, they love that.
Where did Jason Tatum even go to college? Yeah, and there's my point.
Not Duke. Yeah, I don't remember. I'm not. Yeah, I don't. It's tough. I don't follow a lot of these guys until they get into the to the playoffs. I'm not a diehard NBA fan. I'm just enjoying. There's two teams that I've really loved to watch, and that's the Mavericks and the Heat. And I've watched them throughout the year, and I know probably more about those two teams than any of the others.
I'm watching the conference finals.
I love to watch.
I'm putting an eye on the conference finals, and I'm not watching it where it's on my TV with the volume up. I'm watching it at sports bars and everything. But I would have my back to the television if that guy from Akron, Ohio, was playing in the.
I would. Well, and again, I would hate watch. It would depend on who he was playing.
We got to take a break.
Watch him cry.
Yeah, he does cry. He's worse than Krzyzewski. We got to take a break. We'll be right back after this timeout. You're listening to Ocala Talks on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
With Tim Berg.
Sticker shock is soaring at the gas pump. Gas prices jumping another 4 cents. AAA now putting the national average at $4.56 a gallon. That's 16 cents higher than last week. This as the price of diesel remains $1.40 more than it was last year at $5.57 a gallon on average. And Republican Senator from Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn, tells Fox News high diesel prices affect everyone.
We hear this all the time from our truck drivers, whether they're doing the 18-wheelers, the big rigs, or they're doing delivery to grocery stores. The impact of fuel is driving up the cost of everything.
Twitter says it plans to complete its $44 billion deal with Elon Musk after a meeting Tuesday night with the Securities and Exchange Commission. USA Radio News.
No matter if supply lines are down, product deliveries are slow, and that most everything costs more these days, you still have neck and shoulder pain, right? Good news. Sunny Bay has new products that target neck and shoulder pain. Products that are in stock now, ready to ship anywhere now. Like our extra long neck heating pads. They provide soothing relief to painful sore necks and backs. You can heat them in a microwave oven, and they come in a variety of colors and patterns. And for stress relief, get our lavender scented hands-free neck wraps. Or maybe you need one of our smaller lower back wraps. Great for seniors. Again, there's no shipping delays from Sunny Bay. Find our new products on Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, and sunny-bay.com. Just search for Sunny Bay neck wraps. All our products are great for men or women, are reusable and easy to clean. Remember, just search for Sunny Bay neck wraps. Order now because stock is high and shipping is fast. From Sunny Bay.
It's Blockers Furniture Memorial Sale going on the entire month of May. Beautiful two-piece sectional starting as low as $19 per month. Sofas for as little as $10 per month. Kick back in a new recliner for as little as $11 per month. Plus, you can save up to $700 off the Ashley Reeling Queen Bed and Dresser Mirror Set. And save 25% off all outdoor furniture. Mattresses starting at only $3.99. See it, buy it, take it home. It's Blockers Furniture Memorial Sale going on the entire month of May. Blockers Furniture, 2402 Southwest College Road, Ocala.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter, and younger, with all the newest and best in technology, and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter, and younger you.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
Arnett House is giving away $10,000 on May 31st. Get your ticket and more information at arnetthouse.org. Do not have to be present to win.
On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chats. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you.
Here's the latest from the College of Central Florida. On Wednesday, May 18th at 10:35 a.m., Dr. Alan Daniff and Dr. Rob Wolf from CF will tell us how members of the community can share their experience by becoming an adjunct instructor at CF. So tune in to hear how rewarding it can be to share your knowledge in the classroom. That's Wednesday, May 18th at 10:35 on Higher Education Happenings on Ocala Talks on WOCA, The Source.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Wednesday, Galen Nenoff from Life South is on the phone lines with us, brought to you by Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. They offer skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you have any questions how they're handling the pandemic, give them a call at 352-854-6262. We'd also like to thank Penn Flooring. They're a full-service flooring company dedicated to finding the best solutions for your flooring needs. They have experience in both commercial and residential flooring. They're very knowledgeable in all types of flooring applications. Come in and let them help you save time, money, and maybe a headache, because that's what they do best every day. Go see their showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street in Ocala, or give them a call at 352-351-3420. And, of course, justship.net. They offer you the best in shipping two different ways. They'll come pick it up from you, or you can bring it to them at their new location at 811 North Magnolia, justship.net. Galen, somebody reminded me yesterday, and I knew this, but they wanted me to remember because they thought that we had insinuated that the PGA Championship and the PGA Tour was synonymous with each other, and they wanted me to point out that the PGA Championship is put together by the PGA of America, which the PGA Tour broke away from and created in 1967, and they pointed out in their email to me that they wanted us to understand how hypocritical it was now for the PGA Tour to be trying to stop people from going to a new tour when that's exactly what they did to the PGA of America in 1967. And I go, apples and oranges, am I right?
Well, it kind of is, because one was trying to make a pro tour, and the other one was a group of PGA golf professionals, right, who were running their local club. Yeah, it's kind of apples and oranges. I think you could make an argument, but yeah, it's not hypocritical, but it's close. How about that?
Oh.
How about that for riding the fence? I can understand the guy's point. But at the same time, it's not the same at all as the Saudi tour. Now, I think the PGA of America didn't have restrictions on where women could stand when men were in the room. The PGA Tour of America didn't just let women start driving in Saudi Arabia a year ago. Yeah, but that's not the problem that people have with the Saudi tour. The problem they're having, the reason PGA doesn't like the Saudi tour, the money. They're taking money away from the PGA. Of course. No, I understand. Let's be very clear. It's money. This has nothing to do with politics. Now, you could argue they're hypocritical because all the PGA is about is money, and no one really knows where all the money they make from each one. No, because they don't release any of that because they're a private company and they don't release any of it. Correct. You see the commercials, and I remember one time in Jacksonville with the TPC, and I'm like, I've been there. I have no idea what they're building. Like Baptist in Jacksonville has a relationship with the PGA, and they have some kind of a center. I have no idea what the relationship is with the TPC, but there's something there, and guess what? You'll never find out. And in that regard, I think they're hypocritical, and I also think they're hypocritical because they treat all golfers as if they're an independent contractor. Until they want to go play on another tour, and then all of a sudden you're not an independent contractor. You're under contract to play only on my tour. You can go to the Japanese tour, right? The Australian tour, the European tour, the African tour. You can go to any of them. I don't even know if there is one in Africa, but you can't go to the South African tour. There is. That's the problem I have, and in that regard, they're hypocritical. Because the R&A and the PGA of America do not control. That's the issue here. It's the issue about the USGA, the R&A, and the PGA of America. And by the way, you can play. You can play in the R&A, and you could probably play in the PGA Championship if you qualify. Right. But what they're saying is oh no. You can't. The rules will state that you won't qualify because you won't have played in their sanctioned events, and you can't play in those sanctioned events if you play in the Saudi tour. Right? So that's how they're getting around that little loophole. Golf is at a crossroads right now. And I think the last time it was at this kind of crossroads, Greg Norman was in the center of it the last time.
when he tried to create the World Golf League.
Absolutely.
Which led to, by the way, the World Golf Championships, 4 tournaments a year that are the World Golf Championship. That is a direct that was a direct result of Greg Norman trying to start the World Golf League 25 years ago. So
correct. Yeah. Again, I agree. And the PGA Tour is arguably the one tour that doesn't have to worry about public relations. Right?
They never have.
They never will. I mean, I think, they rode the Tiger wave. And I think for the first time in their existence, they found some, oh, wow, we've got to act inclusive and all that. And then they only took it so far because they realized that's a losing strategy since 99% of our audience is white, upper-middle-class men, right?
I don't know that it's 99%, but it's in the 85 percentile or higher. Right.
I'm just making a point.
I understand.
And they're like, okay. And by the way, their advertisers are also hitting that same demographic. And so their advertisers aren't going to do any of this woke ad. They're not going to pull a Gillette ad. Right? Titleist isn't going to come out and say, Titleist, a ball that can be hit by any gender, all 72 of them. Right? That's not what they're going to do.
No. Well, and that was evident. Look, that was evident no place more than at Augusta National 20 years ago when the Miss Burke tried to get the sponsors to pull out because there was no women membership at the Augusta National. And Augusta asked CBS how much it would cost, and CBS said, we're going to lose about $25 million if this happens. Augusta said, well, here's a check for $30 million. Show it commercial free. That told you all you need to know about the game of golf right there.
Well, but that also tells you everything you need to know about where the money goes. Nobody knows where all of the money that Augusta makes goes.
No. I promise you this. No. It don't go to some of the places on Washington Road. I promise you that.
No, but again, if they have the luxury, and let's be clear, that was a luxury of just writing a $30 million check.
Yeah, here you go. Run it commercial free.
Nothing.
And now they write checks every year so that they only run 2 minutes of commercials every hour.
And again, you and I are like, I love it.
I love it.
You can call me whatever you want, but I believe in capitalism, and that almighty dollar speaks. And the Saudis, the PGA Tour knows this, and so the Saudis can outspend you. They can outspend nearly everyone because they don't care. There's nobody in the back. There's nobody at their house going, why are you spending $40 billion on a tour in some other country? Why don't you help us? They're like, look, get off of me, peasant. You're not my cousin. You're getting $0 from me.
Yeah, it's very feudal in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and we can, I think it's hollow for the people who are complaining, oh, we shouldn't support the Saudi tour because of their human rights. That's not why the PGA Tour is not supporting.
They're not supporting the Saudi tour because the Saudi tour are offering guys like Robert Garagos, who are like 216 on the money list, $1.5 million a year just to come play before he ever wins a tournament. They're offering people like, the big names of the sport. They said that they had been offered upwards of $15 to $20 million a year just in paychecks before they ever played a round of golf, just as appearance fees.
Well, I'm a third alternate for a tournament coming up in July. I may have to hit the range.
Yeah, they're paying you $50,000, and you're taking it, by the way.
So you're telling me right now, if the Saudis came in, if some prince came in and said, "Hey, we made this, off of slave oil," I don't think there is such a thing. Here's $50,000. Would I take it? Yes.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. I'd have my hard case with my bag in it, loaded up on the plane, waiting to go.
Well, $50,000 there's not a lot. It's only 51.
Yeah, but I'd move my base operation. I'd move my base operations to Panama. $50,000 a year. I'm living like a king.
No, 50. Just a one-time payment of $50,000. What if the Chinese said, "Look, we made this off of Uyghurs, slave labor. Here's 50 grand." I may have a problem with that.
What do you mean? So if you have a problem with that, have you ever wore the swoosh?
Well, that's the issue, isn't it? It's a struggle, man.
Have you ever had? Did you have a Sony Walkman?
Yeah, yeah. See, and that's a realistic. I would love to help the Uyghurs. I have no idea how to.
We've all worn clothes or worn something or used something that was made by a 9-year-old chain-smoking Indonesian child. We all have.
Well, and for example, we went to Korea, and at the time, Nike was headquartered in Korea, and we're like, this is going to be awesome. We're going to buy all the shoes in the world, and this was in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and we get there, and they had Nike was still like $60. I'm like, wait a second, where are the cheap ones? And you had to go a block over, and they were all the ones that didn't make the quality control.
Right.
Right? So you could get a pair of Nikes for like $8. They may only last a day and a half, or they may last the rest of your life.
The swoosh may be upside down. It may be sideways.
Maybe
you don't
a
know.
little crooked. You may be a little crooked, but yeah, I mean, it was real. And then you could go another street over and get an exact knockoff that was counterfeit that you would never know.
You can go to Dooney.
That was $7.
You can go to Dooney and Burke and pay thousands of dollars, or go to Ishmael on the corner in New York City on one of the streets and buy a Dooney and Burke for $25.
In the Philippines, there was this place, and they could copy anything. And I would bring them pictures of like starter jackets.
And they'd make them for you.
And they would make it. And I would send them to all my friends in the States.
They thought you were big balling. They thought you were big balling.
And I would please enclose $12. And that covered shipping. That would cover shipping.
Is there any statute of limitations on this? Now that you've admitted it on the air, I wonder.
Well, I didn't do it. I just purchased it. Does that make me wrong?
Okay.
And again, I fed that family for 3 days. So. Yeah.
But that's the thing. The PGA Tour.
Talking about living like a big baller.
The PGA Tour is trying to make this about social atrocities and human rights,
right.
And it's really about they don't want to have to pay $15, $18 million in prize money for each tournament. They don't want to pay people appearance fees to play in their tournaments. They want that to be switched where the players are dependent on them, not vice versa.
That's absolutely correct. It's that is in itself hypocritical, but it has nothing to do with the PGA championship versus the PGA Tour. I don't. That was more of a. That's a great idea. We'll support you.
Now let me ask you.
And
this.
in return, you give us a championship. You keep us as a major.
Let me ask
which
you
is
this.
why it's still a major, and the TPC isn't the fourth major.
What does this say about the PGA Championship and the PGA of America? That I looked yesterday. I looked all over the internet. I looked on Twitter and everything, and I counted in about a 10-minute period. I looked at stories, and I put just golf news was what I put in the headline.
Sure.
117 different stories through Twitter and the internet about the LIV, which is the Saudi Arabian League. In that same 10-minute period, I found 11 articles about the PGA Championship. What's that say? What's that say that the Saudi Arabian League, which hadn't played a game yet, just the controversy of that league is getting more press coverage than one of the four majors on the PGA Tour?
Well, I will tell you, I think the PGA Tour would be happy with that. I think they would be like, yes, that's exactly what we need, because that makes us look like the good guys. Like we're for human rights, and we're anti-Saudi Arabia. In their mind, they're like, this is perfect.
In my mind, nobody cares about the PGA Championship as much as they care about this new Saudi league coming.
That's absolutely right. That is absolutely right. I think this is kind of fascinating.
I mean, the Wanamaker Trophy, does it mean anything anymore?
Yes. Ask John Daly.
Well, yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, you and I both are on record as saying it's the Masters or the U.S. Open. I don't know which one you've had first. I have the Masters first, the U.S. Open second, the British Open third, the Players Championship fourth, then the PGA Championship.
Well, I love Augusta. I love Augusta.
I do.
But if you were only to win one, if you could only win one,
I'd want to win the U.S. Open.
You'd want to win the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
And if you could only win two, you'd want to win the U.S. Open and the British Open. To have your name on that trophy, Tom.
So you're talking to a guy that calls Georgia his home, though.
I get it.
It's kind of hard for me.
I get it.
To me, it's still the U.S. Open. I'd want to be on the U.S. Open trophy, but I'd want to have that green jacket a little more than I would the jug. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I'd rather have the green jacket than the claret jug. That's just me, though.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'd want to have the claret. I'd want to have the claret jug
and
third.
We've talked about this. Like of all the trophies, the ones that they put your name on are always special.
I mean,
like the Stanley Cup.
Well, the Stanley Cup may be the best trophy in all of sports.
When we've said that, you'd be hard pressed for anybody to
because it
argue.
keeps getting taller and taller. People go, "Why is it getting taller and taller?" Because they add another layer. Because there's more names to add to it. The names from Lord Stanley's Cup has every name that's ever won it, every team that's ever won it on that trophy.
And again, one thing I learned, like with John Daly, ate cornflakes or ate his breakfast out of the claret jug. I mean, because you get to keep the real one for
you keep it for a year.
Whatever,
oh no, a couple days, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of days. I was like, man, that nobody cares. I don't even know what the name of the U.S. Open trophy is.
I'm filling the claret jug. If I have the claret jug, I'm filling it up with Smittix. I'm definitely filling it up with Smittix and drinking Smittix right out of it.
I'm drinking some Pappy Van Winkle because I could afford it at that point, and I'm just bringing everybody who's.
But I'm drinking out of that claret jug while sporting my green jacket. That's all I'm telling you. That's all I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I think you would. What is the name of the U.S. Open trophy? It's a dish thing. The plate.
I don't know.
Right?
It's the U.S. Open
Am I
Championship.
wrong?
That's all you need to know.
It's a title. It's not a trophy. If I could win two, I'd win the U.S. Open and the British Open. In that order. And then the Masters, and then the TPC, and then the PGA Championship.
Yeah, I'd still, I would not, but it's just me.
You can make an argument. I don't care. Nobody's wrong on that, but the PGA Championship is less than.
It says, what is the U.S. Open Cup called? Nope.
Wait. No. You got to make sure it's not the U.S. Open in tennis.
No, I know. I'm looking at it.
You're smarter than that?
I know. It's hard to believe. What is the trophy called for? The Wanamaker is the only one that has actually someone's name attached to it.
Correct.
I'm not finding a name for the U.S. Open trophy.
It's a plate thing. No, it's not. Is it the Wanamaker?
No, the Wanamaker is that's PGA. U.S. Open trophy is one of 3 trophies in men's major golf that isn't named after a person. The Masters and the claret jug are the others. The Wanamaker trophy has a namesake.
Is it a trophy? They do get a trophy. I'm thinking of the tennis when they get the plate. Yeah, it's not that great. I mean,
all it is the United States Golf Association Open Championship Trophy.
I will say it is you would agree with this. It's the hardest trophy in sports to win.
Oh, I think without a doubt it's the hardest trophy in sports. That's why I love the U.S.
Because it's an Open.
And that's why I love the U.S. Open, because it is the one major that the USGA makes sure that the professional golfers make me feel like my game isn't that bad.
Right, and your game has to be great for 4 days.
You understand?
Because you're not going to go out. Right.
One time a year, the professionals realize par and sometimes bogey is not a bad score.
Right. It's you have to have 4 great days of golf. You can lose it. You can lose it on a single hole, right? But you have to play solid for 4 straight days against the toughest conditions. Yeah, I think I could say that it's the toughest toughest championship to win in all of sport.
Yeah. And it's because of how they set the USGA set out to make sure that they set the course up so difficult that it would test even the best golfers. And by the way, the Open Championship, which is the longest championship, the British Open, and it's played on the courses that stand the test of time. But at times, if the weather's not up in Scotland, those courses can be just abused. Now, 90% of the time the weather's up in Scotland, so it doesn't matter. But never, except for, one person, Tiger, 15 under, or Rory, the rest of the field didn't do that. The U.S. Open course very seldom, if ever, can be abused by a large number of players. All the other championships, even the Masters, if the weather isn't up or the wind's not blowing in Georgia at the time, the Masters can be had. Now, they can quicken the greens and everything, but you can still shoot a low score. The U.S. Open, like this year, I'm thinking still this year with the U.S. Open, 2 under's a good score to win the thing.
Sure. Yeah, and they. But all that said, if you were to win the British Open at Royal Andrews,
at St. Andrews,
I'm sorry, St. Andrews. That's come on now.
No,
how many people have done that?
Oh no, the ghost of Tom Morris would be there and everything. I get that.
Yeah,
but if you win that green jacket in Augusta, Bobby Jones looks down on you. Arnold Palmer looks down on you.
But so does
Sam Snead
so
and
Mike Weir and VJ Singh. Right?
Yeah, well, yeah. But there's been some stinkers at the British Open as well.
Sandy Lyle.
So
does Sandy Lyle.
There's been some stinkers at the British Open too.
Well, yeah, and it's hard to find a stinker at the U.S. Open.
No, because you had to play 4 days. You had to play 4 days of solid. So
your game
there
has
is
to
no.
be so
We always. That is one thing that's different. Like with the Masters, what's Saturday? Moving day. You can play mediocre Thursday and Friday. Get to Saturday, you play lights out on Saturday. It's moving day. Everybody knows that about the Masters. There is no moving day at the U.S. Open. You got to play 4 solid rounds.
There's this day where you fade.
Right.
You just fade.
There's no moving
that's
day.
Typically what happens.
And it doesn't have to be a day. Ask Phil Mickelson about a scoreboard and him choking the U.S. Open away because he was too dumb to not want to try to be Mr. Hero, and a scoreboard got in his way.
Well, or a divot.
Yeah.
Right? A divot killed Payne Stewart.
Exactly.
The ball landed in a divot.
Well, it hurt Payne Stewart's game. He actually killed is a bad word for using with Payne Stewart. Let's be honest.
I didn't say he crashed.
Oh,
I didn't say he crashed.
Okay, where's the Bloodmobile?
Hey, today we're out in the Villages, but always we're right on the boulevard, 1607 East Silver Springs Boulevard. Please come by and check us out. We're still in critical need of all blood types. And lifesouth.org. Check us out if you have any questions about blood donations. We're happy to help. 622-3544. Give blood today.
Galen, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, bye, Tom. Have a great one.
We'll be right back after this timeout on WOCA, The Source.
USA Radio News with Tim Berg.
It looks like Ukraine is about to get more help in its fight against Russia. The Senate is expected to approve a $40 billion bill as soon as today. The House already taking action, boosting President Biden's initial request to add additional military and humanitarian aid. President Biden expected to sign the bill quickly. The nation's biggest wildfire is growing in New Mexico. It's up to about 300,000 acres and is only 26% contained. Several more counties are on standby for possible evacuations, and 2 national forests in the state will close tomorrow as a precaution. The governor spoke to President Biden about the situation yesterday after he approved a disaster declaration earlier this month. 6 other states are also battling large wildfires. This is USA Radio News.
Wendy Bell here for my friends at Swiss America. Did you know the U.S. Constitution authorizes only 2 forms of legitimate money, gold and silver? That's right. But our government abandoned gold and silver a half-century ago. Meanwhile, gold and silver prices have rocketed in recent years due to growing economic uncertainty. So, to help my listeners, Swiss America has a very special offer today. Silver Walking Liberty $half at the amazingly low price of $12.50 each, delivered. You heard me right, $12.50. Call now to reserve your silver coins at 800-630-1490. That's 800-630-1490. Silver Walking Liberty $half for just $12.50 each, delivered while supplies last. Put a silver lining in your financial portfolio now by calling 800-630-1490. 800-630-1490.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
It's time for Farm and Range headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. The Foreign Agriculture Service of USDA has recently